All right. Next up is Project Athia, Luminous Productions, Square
aka
Enix,
Unreal Engine
TVA.
5
Looks
tech
really
demo.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was like super excited because Dan was like, the last time they did something like this and people
Yeah,
loved it, like a tech demo. It wasn't actually a game, and then they released it and
I,
people loved it so much
I
they
was
made a
talking
game
about.
out
I
of
was
it.
talking about when they showed off. Remember Detroit Become Human when they first showed off the.
hmm
I forgot her name, but it was just like the android lady, and then they turned that eventually into Detroit Become Human. So yeah.
So Dan was telling me about that, and I was like, I really hope they do that with this because that tech demo they showed with the Unreal Engine 5 was super fucking cool. Like where she was, and like she came up to like a Stargate type shit, and she was like flying everywhere.
and
Shit
I
was
just
just
want to say
falling
this
apart, and I
this
was like, this
flying
looks
and
awesome.
jumping and
Yeah.
extremely fast movement. For me, this confirms that Superman is right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Within the next year or 2 years. We're finally gonna
Ooh,
get it.
hot
Superman's coming.
take.
That'd be
I
interesting.
love it.
There's no
That'd
such
be
thing as a
interesting.
good
I've never
Superman.
played a Superman game.
There is
I
no
know,
such
I
thing as a good
understand
Superman
that
game.
they've always shitted on it, but I've never played one. Um, what
I
would you
haven't.
since
I don't know.
have you guys played Superman games? No.
I've watched gameplay for Superman 64 and I regret it. I feel bad for
All
the
right.
people who actually
So
played it.
before we move on, what do you guys need in a Superman game for it to be good?
Oh, I've been asked this question a few times. Oh man,
Oh. Okay,
you have to figure out
So
how to give him his powers and not make him
I don't.
overpowered.
I
That's the
know. I
problem.
don't agree with
yeah,
that.
like the
That's the
Make him
OP
problem.
overpowered
factor.
and make his enemies overpowered. Make it even.
Yeah, but at the same time, you want to be able to. I mean, if it was me, do it in the same style as like an
Ah, what are
Uncharted,
you
where
talking
it's a linear story.
about? No,
That's the only thing I can think of. Because I know it sounds crazy. I agree, but my thing is just like you don't want to have it be open world because in real Superman lore,
okay.
he would be
You want it?
destroying the
I want
world
it
while
in
fighting
open
these other
world, but not
people.
necessarily on Earth. I think you can get if you get a little alien with it, you don't have to like
Okay.
worry about creating Metropolis or like a New York looking city perfectly because it's Superman's just gonna fly all over that
Yeah.
immediately. Yeah. What I think
He's
was
gonna fly.
really
Yeah, yeah.
necessary in order to get the. Do you guys remember that scene near the end of Man of Steel when the camera's mounted right behind Superman's shoulder and he's punching Zod in the air and he chucks Zod
Mhm.
like out in the distance and then he
Yeah.
zooms right up and he's
Yeah,
right next to him again and hits him again. If you can get that feeling,
yeah.
essentially like the feeling of hitting as viscerally as like Kratos in God of War, but I'm in the sky and I'm like locking onto my enemies in the air and I move that quickly through the air. That's gonna be like the Superman game that'll like kill it for audiences.
You could do that in my Superman Uncharted
No,
game.
I mean, I want to see you release a linear Superman for
Okay,
people and see how they react.
Oh,
I
people are
wanna
gonna probably hate it, but hey, man.
I wanna sprinkle in on this a
Mhm.
little bit of Jedi Fallen Order in the sense of Superman doesn't have all his powers right away. He has to kind of go through training with a virtual Jor-El to help him unlock like his different abilities, like your ice breath, your laser
Yeah.
vision, your
Mhm.
flight. Like maybe when you start, you don't know how to fly, you can just jump really high. You have some of your super strength. You get stronger as you go on, and then you start unlocking all these different powers of like Superman. That
Yeah.
way, he's not OP'd in the beginning right away,
Just like
and
a
then you
straight up
kind of get to
origin
build
story.
up with the story
Yeah.
and like with
But I've
yeah.
heard people say this, and one of the biggest issues is
No, I totally
you
agree
want to
with
be
what I'm
Superman.
saying. I think people would love
No, and
it.
I get that, and you
Hey, I'm all for what that's all I'm saying, but
so
I feel like a
because
lot of I've said that to people, and people have come at me. It was like, but you want to be Superman, you want to have Superman powers.
since I just played Jedi Fallen Order,
Hmm.
I just loved so much this game and how you progress from like a Padawan
And then
and
you feel
picking
like
the
a knight,
kind of
a Jedi Knight. Yeah.
yeah, and like picking the type of things you want to learn first because of how you are playing the game
Hmm.
and what you think is important, and then you unlock your fighting style in the game, and I want to be able to unlock Superman's like fighting style in the game. Maybe I'm more of a
Superman
brute, and I'm
RPG, sort of. But I
yeah,
get
like
it.
maybe I'm more of a brute, and I'm
Wait, I
just
have
like
it. I have
punching
it.
everything,
No one,
and I
no
don't
one
care
wants the
about the
Superman
rest of the
powers.
thing, and
You
maybe
want the
I'm more
story. So,
strategic.
TellTale's Smallville.
If you give me TellTale Superman,
People will.
I'm all in.
I
All
like
in.
that
We
too.
finally get a Superman
I
game,
like
and it's
that too.
TellTale's narrative, click adventure, fucking Smallville.
Hey man,
they
hey man, it
might.
worked with Batman. It worked with Batman twice.
That shit was awesome. I played the first one recently, so. But yeah, actually, now I'm excited for a Superman game, especially if they
What
do
you
it
said made me imagine. Actually,
in the
almost
way we kind
exactly
of
like
just
it looks
like
in Project. What was it, Athia? You know the way she's jumping, right? Like all like super. Imagine you're
yeah.
in like rural. Where is it,
Uh-huh.
Kansas or whatever? And you're like out in the farmlands, or like in the crops, and you
Yeah.
just are practicing like jumping, and that's like the beginning of the game. Fuck,
Hmm.
that could be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. That would be so cool. And then like you kind of like maybe you start out looking for the spaceship of Zor-El, or you're going on an adventure through the planet, going from like city to city or like country to country, trying to find your way to the Fortress of Solitude or where the ship is, and then that leads you to the Fortress of Solitude, and then you kind of spend some time in there training with Jarrell, and then you have to go out, do these missions, come back, and then halfway through the game, you become a fully realized
Mhm.
Superman, and then you get that
I
Superman
w-
that everybody wants, like that game and gameplay that everybody wants, like you described with the Snyder Man of Steel, like punching Zod
mhm.
and like the fast
I think
flight.
you can even borrow from the
I think that'd be
Metroidvania
fucking
level
amazing, man.
design of Fallen Order. You know how Fallen Order you're traveling and there's loading times from like planet to planet? What if your overall game is a
Yeah.
single planet and you can kind of zip from like country to country,
Okay.
city to city, and you can choose which one you want to go to
Yeah. Yeah.
whenever. Or like what
But
if
yeah.
whenever you want to fast travel, you like zip up into space, you're like looking at Earth, pick where you want to go and zip back down, right? And then
Uh huh.
you can have like
Ooh, I like that.
same as Fallen Order. As you get new abilities, you can unlock different areas, right? So it gives you reasons to go back to different cities. Like let's say you
Yeah.
need to use your like ice breath to like unlock something, right? Something like that, or like laser eyes or something. And I think that could,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Your X-ray vision. Um, the first thing I thought about when you were saying this is that it'd be really cool in the beginning, like you do your fast
Yeah.
travel, but you're doing it on foot, like just running. And then when you unlock your flight, you have even faster fast travel where you can kind of like go up in space and pick, and then you just see him flying, and then maybe he's like says a couple of
Mm-hmm.
lines of dialogue to himself or something about the mission that he's doing,
Yep.
just like the conversation they were having on the ship before landing on the planet. Oh man, I'm fucking excited, bro.
Nah, man,
I
screw
want
this
this game
Superman
now.
game. Screw it. I'm watching this Project
I hate
Athia
you, Dan.
trailer
Fuck you.
again, and I can't wait for this Project Athia. Everything else can wait.
Oh, I can't wait for this game either.
This thing looks amazing.
I'm excited, but now I'm more excited about the Superman game that we just created.
I've learned to not get excited about things like
Can
that.
we send this? Can we send this piece of dialogue to Greg so he can put this into work? Because I feel like Greg
Oh,
Miller
Greg
could get it to
Miller.
happen.
Greg Miller's been talking about making a Superman game since before he was born.
I know exactly. That's why I
He's
want to
already
send
written
this
his
to him.
whole
Maybe he'll
story
find
that
this
he
a good
wants,
idea and help
so
us out.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
he
I
just
didn't
released that
realize
comic
that.
book, you know.
I was just about to
the
say
Joker
that. Yeah.
comic book.
Oh, nice.
Him and Gary Whitta, the co-writer
What?
of
He's
Project
a co-writer? No.
Nice.
Full
Hey,
circle. Yeah, you didn't know
guys.
that? Gary Whitta, yeah. That's
I
why.
didn't know.
Why
So
do you
it
think
might
I'm so
actually
excited
happen.
about Project
I
Athia?
see when you call a game project, immediately I'm like, all right, so we're never gonna see it.
Yeah, but remember when Project Octopath Traveler turned into Octopath Traveler?
Exactly. I don't like Greg Miller won't let Gary Whitta like not make this game happen.
Exactly. It was like, if this game doesn't come out, he will forever haunt Gary Whitta, which I think he already does.
We need to like cut this piece of audio and just send it to him, and maybe send him like $100 or something. Be like, help us out.
No, I think $100 ain't gonna do it. Making that kind of funny money.
Yeah, right. If you like this Los Wise Guys podcast clip, go check out the full episode via the link below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, rate, review, and thank you for listening.